We needed it more than you. Kyle's laugh echoed across the room like he hadn't just drained $120,000 from my account. I'm Rebecca Mitchell, 34 years old. I built my boutique from nothing, dollar by dollar, sleepless night by sleepless night. That money was my future, my expansion, my dream, my everything, and my brother-in-law stole it with a smirk. But he overlooked one thing: I may be family, but I don't play nice. I met his gaze and said evenly, "Then you won't mind what happens next." 2 hours later, the cops kicked down the door. Ever been betrayed by your own blood? I ask. Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you believe karma has a way of circling back. I grew up in Portland, the dependable daughter of hardware store owners. While my younger sister Allison spent her teenage years chasing parties and popularity, I spent mine saving every dollar from summer jobs. After college, I worked 3 grinding years at a corporate retail chain before risking it all to launch Mitchell Designs, my boutique for sustainable, locally made clothing. With only $5,000 in savings and a stubborn heart, I walked away from stability. The first 2 years nearly broke me: 18-hour shifts, ramen dinners, reinvesting every penny. I lived small so the business could breathe. Then tragedy struck. A drunk driver killed both of our parents. The grief hollowed me, so I buried myself in work. Allison dropped out of college and drifted through dead-end jobs. When the estate settled, we each inherited $75,000. I poured mine into my store. That's when Allison met Kyle. She found him at a casino and married him 6 months later. From day one, I hated him: slick hair, a flashy watch, and a voice that dripped condescension. "Your sister's shop is cute," he sneered at their wedding, "but real money's in investments." Kyle controlled every room he entered, and Allison, she shrank. She checked his face before speaking, called less and less, and when she smiled, it never reached her eyes. Then came the reunion at our family's lake house. I'd just secured a second store location, and that $120,000 in my account was 5 years of sacrifice ready to bloom. I didn't know my own blood was plotting to take it. When I arrived Friday afternoon, I felt light with hope. Business was booming, my vendor loan had cleared, expansion was real. Cousin Emma met me at the dock, smiling thinly. "Allison and Kyle are already here," she whispered. "Just be careful." Through the screen door, I heard Kyle before I saw him, boasting about a real estate flip that would double anyone's money. Allison greeted me with a quick hug, calling me Becca like old times, but her eyes flickered toward Kyle. "The entrepreneur arrives," he smirked, whiskey glass in hand. "Still selling enough dresses to keep the lights on?" "Actually," I said, forcing a smile, "we're expanding, just signed the downtown lease." "In this economy?" he scoffed. Later that night, back in my room, I noticed it immediately. My laptop cord was plugged into the wrong port. My gut dropped. I opened it. The browser history looked spotless, but then the alert flashed: "New login attempt failed," from an unrecognized device. Someone had tried to get into my account within the last hour, while I was downstairs helping with dinner. I changed every password, set up 2-factor authentication, and locked my devices away, but the pit in my stomach didn't move. The next morning, chaos hit. Claire, my business partner, called, her voice cracking through the line. "Rebecca, the vendor payment bounced. It says, insufficient funds." My heart stopped. I yanked open my banking app, fingers trembling. Checking, $0. Savings, $0. Business, $0. Gone, all of it. $120,000, vanished overnight. Not a glitch, not a hack. No, this was someone inside the house, someone who knew exactly what they were doing. And there he was, Kyle, sitting in the kitchen, sipping coffee like it was any other morning. I must have looked ghost white when I walked in. Conversations froze. "My money's gone," I said, my voice hollow. Uncle Robert straightened. "Gone? What do you mean gone?" "Drained, over $120,000, transferred to an account I don't recognize." I held up my phone. Gasps, murmurs. Emma rushed to my side. Only 2 people stayed silent: Allison, staring into her mug, and Kyle, arms folded, face unreadable. "Did you call the bank?" Emma whispered. I did, on speaker. The rep's words still burned in my ears. "Yes, Ms. Mitchell, several transfers occurred between 11:42 p.m. and 4:15 a.m. from a recognized device at your location. Password and security questions were entered correctly." The room chilled. This wasn't random fraud, this was betrayal, calculated, personal. Someone had used my laptop, my access. I turned to Kyle. You were near my room yesterday. Did you touch my laptop? Allison shot up instantly. Are you accusing my husband? Kyle's lips curled. Your sister's paranoid. Maybe your partner lost the funds. Then show us your bank statements, I said, stepping closer, if you're so secure. A flicker, just for a second, tugged at his smirk. I don't owe you proof of anything, he snapped. Oh really? I leaned in, because if you didn't do it, you'd be shouting louder than anyone here. Allison's hands shook. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Kyle tightened his grip on her waist like a leash. Then he said it, cold, smug, deliberate. We needed it more than you. The room erupted. Uncle Robert roared. Emma gasped. Aunt Patricia started to cry. I didn't. I was already reaching for my bag. Then you won't mind what's coming next, I said, my voice sharp as steel. The second I grabbed my phone, Kyle lunged. You're not calling the police, he barked, grabbing for my wrist. Uncle Robert shoved between us. Back off, Kyle. Emma yanked me behind her. Allison flinched, pale, her terror deeper than just fear. Allison, I said softly, searching her face, what's really going on? Her lips parted, hesitation, guilt, but Kyle cut her off. We're done here, get your bags, we're leaving. You're not going anywhere until I get every cent back, I snapped, or I swear I'll have you in cuffs before you hit the driveway. Kyle laughed, low, dangerous. Good luck, Kyle sneered, that money's gone, moved, buried, you'll never see a cent. That's when the bang shook the house, the front door slammed open. Police, nobody move. 2 officers stormed in, followed by a woman in plain clothes flashing her badge. Rebecca Mitchell? She asked. I nodded. Detective Harmon, Portland PD, we received a fraud alert connected to your accounts. Kyle's face drained of color. This is a misunderstanding. She cut him off. We have bank data, cybersecurity logs, and device IDs, transfers traced straight to you, and your face, Mr. Henderson. His mouth worked, but nothing came out. I held up my phone. After a hacking scare last year, I installed security software. It logs keystrokes, captures images during login attempts, everything's recorded. I handed it to her. Clear shots of Kyle on my laptop, timestamps, IP matches, it's all here. Kyle's composure shattered. You set me up. No, I said, steady, I protected myself. There's a difference. The officers cuffed him as he thrashed. Allison, you'll regret this, you're nothing without me. For once, Allison didn't flinch. She stepped forward, voice trembling but unbroken. I was nothing to you. Without you, I get to be me again. Detective Harmon glanced my way. With this evidence, the bank will recover most of your funds, but more importantly, he won't hurt anyone else. For the first time in days, I exhaled. The war wasn't over, but I'd just won the first battle. A month later, sunlight poured through the windows of my second boutique. Mitchell Designs was alive, thriving, not because I was lucky, but because I was prepared, because I trusted my gut, because I refused to let betrayal define me. The bank restored 97% of the money, fraud protection covered the rest, but the real victory wasn't in numbers. It was Allison. She moved in with me, filed for divorce, re-enrolled in school. The shadows under her eyes have begun to fade. She laughs again, she bakes again, she's becoming herself again. Last night, as we chopped vegetables like we used to with Mom, she said quietly, you were brave for protecting what you built. Becca, I want to be brave enough to rebuild myself. She already is. Kyle pled guilty to fraud, coercion, identity theft. He'll be behind bars for years. His power ended the moment Allison said, I'm done being afraid. Last weekend, we returned to the lake house, not for a reunion, but for a restart. We painted, repaired, reclaimed the place that nearly broke us, and we made new rules. Real family protects. Real family doesn't manipulate. If you've ever had to cut ties with toxic blood to save yourself, I see you. Leave a comment if you've ever said enough. And if you're still searching for the strength, borrow mine. Because blood doesn't entitle anyone to break you.